Let's start with the news. Frank Vogel's future with the Lakers. Reportedly, he will be fired today. Reg, your thoughts?
First of all, I'm not surprised, but let me just say this. It is absolutely embarrassing and Bush League what the Lakers have done to Frank Vogel. And look, I know that coaches are always the first in front of the firing line. The coaches are always the first to go. But what they did to this man by really attacking his character, his coaching resume, all behind closed doors, where there's other people that should be held at a higher standard for putting this crappy roster together, like Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, and even LeBron James to a certain degree, to throw Russell Westbrook and Frank Vogel as they're the only issues that was wrong with the Lakers this season is absolutely embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it's not right. It's not right. Again, coaches come and go, and did Frank Vogel have his flaws? Sure. Was sometimes his falling in love and out of favor with certain players? Yes, I get it. But let's remember one thing. It's only 17 months ago that 18 months ago that they won an NBA championship with him at the helm, when they had either the first or second best defensive team in the game. And all of a sudden he can't coach? He can't coach because of the roster. He did not put this roster together. So start talking about those people. That's what's embarrassing, and it's just not right to attack this man's character. It's not. And for him to face the firing squad of the media right after that game, not knowing what his fate is, and for Wojo to report that, and Wojo's just doing his job, which means he's getting sources from someone inside the Lakers organization. There's only so many people that could talk to Wojo that would have that kind of insight. And for him not to know that, it's embarrassing.
Is this a desirable job, Reg? They've missed the playoffs 7 of the last 9 years.
It's the Lakers. I mean, that's like saying the Yankees or the Dodgers. Of course it is, or the Cowboys. It's very desirable, but there comes expectations. They are the world's team, just like the Yankees, just like the Cowboys, and to a certain degree, the Boston Red Sox. Yes, desirable job, but comes expectations.
But also, you don't control a lot in that role, it feels like. And so you're only going to be as successful as the front office is going to make you. There's only so much you could do. They made these moves. LeBron co-signed with this. And then it's up to Frank. You know, the analogy I made is you got a bad meal and you want to blame the waiter, not the chef. And that's what I feel like happened in Los Angeles.
Absolutely. And I guarantee you, when Frank Vogel was probably approached and says, we're going this way with this roster, he probably looked at him crazy like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. He did the best he could with this roster. I mean, but we knew this back in August when they were putting this roster together. We all said that. Yeah. This roster would be unbelievable if it was 2010. If it was 2010, this roster would be balling. But it's not. It wasn't. But my point is, he is not the only one responsible. Wojo needs to start calling out everyone who had a hand in this by name, not just Frank Vogel and not just Russell Westbrook.
All right, what's his team? Now what do you do? You're going to bring in somebody. I don't know if you bring in Mike Brown, but what do you do with the roster? What can you do?
You got to blow it up. First of all, you got to blow it up again. They have 9 free agents, just like they blew it up a year ago. There's 9 free agents. Russell Westbrook is probably going to opt in for that $47 million. So the bulk of your money is surrounded around three guys. And we know who the three guys are. So now you've got to bring in 9 to 10 new faces that somewhat, and on top of that, find a coach. Find a coach who's going to fit the lifestyle and fit the player complement of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and probably Russell Westbrook if he's not traded.
Would you entertain the idea of trading Anthony Davis?
Yes, I would. I absolutely would. He's got to show me he can stay healthy. This will only work. They will only be successful if Anthony Davis plays 75 to 78 games a year with LeBron playing a year or two left. That's the only way the Lakers are going to be successful. If he can't stay healthy, which he hasn't over the last couple of years, absolutely. They have no picks. At least you got to take the Oklahoma City Thunder approach to this. You've got to start stockpiling draft picks and assets. The Lakers have zero assets other than Anthony Davis and LeBron James, which I know LeBron's not going anywhere, but it should cross someone's mind, possibly, what could you get for him? You might just have to blow the whole thing up be bad for a while, get picks, and then hope you get lucky during the draft and find a generational player, but you've got to start thinking big picture.
Why is it that it felt like people with the Lakers said, hey, we got all these injuries. And then I started looking at the injuries here, and, let's look at the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry played in.
Thank you, Theodore. Thank you. Stop using that, Anthony Davis. Think of other teams that are in the same position.
Steph Curry played 64 games. LeBron played 56. Draymond Green played 41. AD played 40. Clay played 31. Russ played 78. And the Warriors still won over 50 games. That's what, that excuse doesn't work.
It doesn't work because of the model you just said about Oklahoma City. It doesn't work for the Brooklyn Nets, who at KD was out. Kyrie played half the games. Yeah. James Harden didn't want to be there half the time, and they traded him. They're in the play-in and probably will be in the playoffs. What about Philadelphia with the Ben Simmons saga? You think before James Harden get there, everything was on Embiid. They're in the top four. Everyone goes through injuries. Every team went through a COVID period. Stop using that excuse, Lakers. Stop it.